It recognizes our belief in God, our country, not just individuals, our country, our founding fathers codified this in the documents that founded this country. Our reliance, our belief in God, and our reliance upon God. Of that, there's just no debate on that. You may like it, may not like it. Declaration of Independence, we find these truths to be self-evident, that we are endowed by our Creator with certain inalienable rights, of which are life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. It goes on in the Constitution to say we are putting together this Constitution in a preamble to secure the blessings, not only for ourselves, for posterity. And that Constitution followed with a Bill of Rights that enumerated those godly rights given to man, including the very first one, which was the right to believe in God and to express that belief anytime, anywhere, including the public square.
33 million. It's proven to the money investors that people want something to feed their souls, not just their worst desires.
Absolutely.
And
yes, indeed.
This kind of sums up my entire dialogue career on the heat of the night. You ready for this? Okay, this is it. My 7 years on the heat of the night. My dialogue all summarized in this. Get right on it, Chief.
Skinner, but Bubba's my name. I like my iced tea sweet and my women the same. I'm your brown-haired badge here in little old Sparta, but nobody's bigger or tougher or smarter. If you're looking to fight, best not be with me. Gonna be held tight, well now we'll just see. You never know in the heat of the night on TNT. Heat of the night on TNT. Now I don't put on any airs, but then I ain't no slob. Just a redneck boy with a blue-collar job. The ladies I date, they gonna have 'em some fun, 'cause I'm a big hunk of crime fighting son of a gun. So if you're looking to fight, come on up in the ring. You wanna be held tight, just about anything can happen in the heat of the night on TNT. Hubba, 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 heat of the night on TNT. Yeah.
XEX. This is the Autry Show. No retreat.
And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
What the hell's going on out here? Everybody grabbing out there. Nobody. That the only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord.
So, 5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes! Unbelievable. Free at last! Free at last! Thank God Almighty! We are free at last!
You're listening to the Autry Show on the best talk in town. Talk Radio 1550 KXEX. Call Alan now. 559-899-1550.
And welcome to Alan Autry No Retreat. I'm Alan Autry, so honored and humbled and hambled.
You're hambled.
to have you with us today. Nothing like starting off strong.
I'm vegetarian. I don't know if I could talk to you. You're real hambled.
I'm totally hambled. Like Bob Leone says about this show, we start off slow and taper off.
And do what?
You start off slow, then taper off.
Oh, the taper off.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, Dan Bongino, he's the caffeinated version. We take little decaf, tea, settle down, sit down dinner, not fast food. And we take it easy on Big Monday. Monday, can't trust that day that says the mamas and the papas.
Yeah.
But you can trust the best talk in town, KXCX 1550. And we got some big old election coverage coming up tomorrow. Oh, man,
right? Tomorrow? No.
You're going to be manning live.
Yeah, I'll be manning this spaceship in here, and you're going to be here. We're going to have Pastor Jim Franklin, praying for us, praying for all the candidates.
And ladies and gentlemen of Warren Fresno, welcome for Mr. Larry Powell.
Now that's good news.
That's good.
That's not bad.
Well, you were supposed to be gone. You're gone. We won't get into the details. You're going to be here. All right, tell me. Right now, you just got to let people know. You got a twin brother, don't
you? Yeah, you know what? And he's almost as good looking as I am.
There's two of you. There's got to be. Either that or you've been cloned because you're everywhere. You can't keep doing the schedule with one person.
Oh, I told my wife, 40, I'm done. I'm retired. I'm done. I don't care what I'm going on welfare, doing the 40, I am done.
You really think welfare is going to be around by then?
All right, I'll be done by 59.
You better quit now if you want a little bit of that quan. That little bit of quan is going to be gone along with Social Security and everything else.
I'll just do I'll do the RV and the mountain thing.
Yeah, I'll be with you.
Yeah, we'll be neighbors. Get off our porch.
Imagine the uprising, though, if they got rid of Social Security. All the old people that would rally, they did get their AR-15s and their muskets and their,
their scooters,
22 rifles and scooters and walkers. You gotta make January 6th look like a walk in the park. You better button down the hatches, you little thieves. We're coming and getting you. This is a bipartisan uprising.
Help me up. That's horrible. That is horrible.
Hey, I'll be leading the way, man. Come on. Did everybody take their Geritol? All right. There'll be free shots afterwards.
We got to stop to take the pills.
There would be an uprising. Hey, listen, we got there's no shortage of serious stuff to talk about, Mr. Moreno.
Oh, man. Where do you want to start?
Well, I'm glad you asked, a wise and wondrous one. This is absolutely an unrehearsed show if you haven't found out by now. I pulled a Guillermo Moreno. I was late. I had to do some things. Didn't know if I'd be able to do the show. Called in. Hey, get ready for a rerun. But I got things
Why is it I pulled a Guillermo Moreno late?
Well, not late. I wasn't late. I just in under the wire.
That's
I'm
true.
One of those old school boomers. I like to prepare. I like to get here half hour early. Sit down. You see me. I like to come in. You provided me with a beautiful desk. I'd be able to sit there at my desk, put out my notes, sip on my coffee, which I'm going to get a little shot of courage right now.
But it's half an hour. I mean, that's a long time that's a long time in radio.
Spoken like a true millennial.
Yeah,
that's a half hour. That's a long time. Not the Vince Lombardi.
No, I didn't say. I'm not.
Dang, this is the worst coffee. I just took a sip of this Starbucks, and I keep drinking it every single day of every week of every month for the last 15 freaking years. There's something in there. There's something addictive in there. It's horrible coffee. Sorry, Starbucks. Yet I keep drinking it.
Well, that coffee bean is probably like 2 years old. You realize that, right?
Are you just saying that to
No, I'm being honest. It's 2-year-old bean that they just roasted. I mean,
now did you just pull that 2-year-old bean out of an orifice of your body? Right
no,
now?
I listen. And back in the old days,
Really?
I had a coffee shop in downtown Fresno.
So you really
Little Bean Cafe.
Okay, well that's it.
Yeah, so it's 2-year-old bean.
Well, now does Cup of Joy? Did they use 2-year-old beans?
No, so they roast their own. So theirs is probably about a month out.
Well, I'll take a month.
Oh yeah. Well,
okay, I'm done with that.
When our place was open
at Starbucks,
we were
and nothing political about it, folks. I'm just done. It's just bad coffee. I'm a total hypocrite. I'm like the folks that were on the far left of the gay community got mad at Chick-fil-A, and they tried to get an uprising. And all the gay community said, "You kidding me? I like Chick-fil-A too much. Pick another place to protest. I'm going to go in and eat my Chick-fil-A." I'm like that. But anyway, go ahead.
Oh no, we're 9 days off the roast date. When I was open, It was 9 days.
Well, I'm in. That seals the deal for me on that last sip. I'm going to drink that cup, the Grande, Venti, all this stuff.
Trente.
How about a medium and a large and a small? They come in. That irritates me for some reason.
Yeah.
This whole barista language that they get. Barista. Where'd I come that? I'm not even a bartender anymore. I'm a
mixologist.
A mixologist. Yes, that's what they call themselves. No, you slinging drinks and you get people drunk. When you're throwing up on the porcelain, throwing up, it doesn't matter if it was a mixologist or a bartender. You're still throwing up there, you know. Hey, listen, okay, we're going to get to tough stuff. But I think, I'm trying to say this word properly because I always mess it up. An epiphany. Epiphany. Sounds like I'm listening. Epiphany. You may or may not have heard of this ongoing little controversy, not controversy, but statement about Fresno's name. That they don't like Fresno.
Oh.
You've heard that, right?
Again?
And there's a Fres yes, okay? You know who started that, by the way?
Is it Ashley?
No.
Well, that's I bought a shirt in college that said Fres yes.
Yes, but you know who started that? I got to give him credit for Brian Calhoun. Does that name ring a bell?
Yeah, former
local city council. Came up with the name. Hey, we're tired of being called Fresno. We're going to be Fres yes. Now, it didn't get much traction back then, but it got some. And as years went by, people that, they never gave poor Brian credit for it, but he is the first one. Brian,
didn't know that.
Yes, he did. Okay, Fres yes. And I'm thinking, like you, what's going on there? It's Fresno. And then it hit me the other day. Let me ask you this question. Listeners, viewers, in your life, what has benefited you most in life? The things you said yes to or the things you said no to?
That's deep.
What benefited you the most? I said yes to the acceptance of love from people that I didn't deserve it. But when you said no to that drink when you were trying to quit drinking, pretty important thing.
Yeah.
When a kid says no to go get in that car when somebody else has been drinking, saying no to that business deal that didn't just seem quite right, and me saying yes to many business deals in my life that I wish I would have said no to. Let me ask you that. Let's spend just a couple of minutes on this because I've got a epiphany on this, and I think it could be, well, I don't want to be grandiose or hyperbolic, but it can be groundbreaking, shattering, thunderous in its impact on our city. But you go ahead first.
I didn't even know this was a thing.
Yeah. You didn't know?
I didn't know this was. I didn't even realize that Fresno had no in it until. I could spell Fresno, but I didn't realize this was the thing until that whole movement. I was like, okay, I just bought the T-shirt. Fres, yes, it was kind of cool. But why do we want to change history?
Well, that's my point. And why be embarrassed of your name?
Yeah.
In Los Angeles, not running around being embarrassed of their name. Yeah. San Francisco, which has a lot to be embarrassed about, but they're not embarrassed of their name. San Francisco.
It could be worse.
New York.
There's some horrible named towns out there.
Like what?
Climax.
Like what? What's so terrible about that? I kind of like that town. What? I might move there. What? What part of the country is Climax in? Is it cold there?
All right, we're going.
Your mama's going to get real upset with us.
Jim Franklin and all of it.
You're kidding me. There's a town there.
They're unfortunately.
They might want to look at change. I don't know how you spin that.
So Fresno, just hey, could it be worse? Absolutely. Could it be better? It's not. Well, isn't there a Fresno, Texas too? Are they struggling with this as well?
I don't know, but people you haven't heard, but many people have. Jim Franklin, I guarantee you, it was all over for a while. In fact, I think there's a periodical. Remember that word, periodical?
Yeah,
it's a website now. Fres yes, and candidates use it.
No,
they're running for office. Yes, and here's my point. I want to start a movement. Embrace the no. Stop it. This is a serious subject.
I could tell.
Well, no, you're cracking up, and I can't help because I'm just looking for this. Quit running from the no in Fresno. Embrace the no. You know why? Like that? You know why? In fact, we're going to sell some T-shirts. We're going to spell it Fresno. F-R-S-K-N-O-W.
I was just about to say that.
Fresno.
Great minds think alike.
Fresno. But listen, think about it. We're in Fresno. We say no to crime. We say no to inflation. We say no to bigotry. We say no in keeping our kids in failing schools. We say no in dividing America. We say no to hate. We say no to
that's marketable right there.
Well, yes.
I like that.
Fresno. Because what we say no to is just as important, and in many cases could be more important than what we say yes to.
I'm a believer now.
Chew on that little beef jerky for a while.
Man, that's good. That's good. You came prepped on this one.
I thought of it in the gym this morning. What are you talking about? That's what my mind were. Hey, for so many years I thought, am I going to blow my lines today? Am I going to go to the set and blow my lines? Or, gosh dang, I'm mayor. What do I do now? I spent all my time thinking about those thoughts. And now I can come to the show. I've got freedom to think about things that are really important, like ending this attack on the name of Fresno.
I like it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
We should change the city charter.
I don't think
Call everyone.
All right.
On city council. It's formal.
So I can count on you as the big kahuna at KXEX to get behind this movement, because it's not an idea, it's a movement.
Already behind you.
It's a movement. It's more than just an idea.
It is.
Much deeper than that.
Very much so.
Okay. All right. We're gonna stay on this important stuff. Let's see what else I put in my important notes here. The no, K-N-O-W. Hey, those T-shirts would sell. I'm telling you, I'd buy 20 of them, give them for Christmas presents.
You know what? I'll call Gottschalks right now and make sure they're in the store.
T-shirts cost too much per unit. You got to get these things right out of China.
I was going to say, we'll get them from China.
Right out of China.
They're opening up, by the way.
Yeah, Ukraine. You got to get down to Ukraine right now nowadays. Where was the other name? Brazen? No, okay. Okay. Should we take a break? We burned up 20 minutes here of people's time on this. Boy, are we going to shift gears. We're going to take a quick break. I'm still come back. I just want to hit one little thing on climate change.
Hey, speaking about
how y'all doing? I missed y'all. Guillermo missed you. I turned it on. Here's how I'm getting old. I go on the internet, I want to see our show. And I turn on the show. And this last show we did, and it was like, gosh, dang, I got really good looking. What happened? Did I go to Hollywood and get some work done? Did I go ahead? And then I realized it was Guillermo substituting me. Thanks for doing that, buddy.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, you look good. I look good.
Yeah, no. How do you do that? How you just slip in the saddle and look like you? It's just a lot of years of doing it, huh?
It's mic hours. People don't believe it. The more. It's. Have you heard the 10,000 rule? If you do 10,000 hours in something, you're going to master it. And they talk about Bill Gates, the Beatles. They talk about it's called The Outliers. Is the name of the book.
If you do 9,999, are you still clueless?
You're a schmo. Okay. But we move one more hour. You're good. You're good. You got this.
Okay. I believe in that.
Yeah.
John Gruden said, "Never underestimate the power of the accumulation of repetition."
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's really true. Yeah. Never underestimate the power of accumulation of repetition. And doesn't that just mean just practice?
Practice.
But it is, do what it is you do, and you're going to get better. Right? That's what you're saying. If you want a painter, if you're a painter, paint, you'll get better. If you're a singer, sing wherever you can, you'll get better.
10,000 hours. That's all you need. 10,000 hours.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The Beatles, Bill Gates, when he was in high school, he was going to, I believe it was a university there, and he would just sit there and code. I mean, and by the time he did what he did, I mean, he had massive accumulation of hours just doing it. The Beatles, they were in tons of bars.
How many dates did he go out on? That'd be an interesting guy to go out on the date on.
Bill Gates?
Can we talk about your next logarithm? Yeah. I never thought you'd ask.
So, so it's 10,000. And I think, and this goes into your subject, actually. The kids. No. The kids.
Oh, okay. Abusive kids.
They don't want to do things anymore. And it's, they're on to one thing and then they go on to something else. And we don't want to encourage them to do something.
Mm-hmm. That's it. We're living.
You got to do it.
In a time where it's really, here's an art moment. Autry's random thoughts. You and Autry's Army, who are familiar with that, if you're a newcomer. It's just when I just have thought, like share it. It's art class. Trying to be clever with that as I fall flat on my face, as I normally do. But, we are more connected now than ever before, meaning we can get in touch with people, see people, talk. Connected more than at any time in history. It blows any other era completely away.
30 seconds?
Yet, with all of that connectivity, we're more divided than we've ever been in history. It seems like an oxymoron. It seems connectivity should bring more unity. That connectivity has been part of dividing us.
10
Pretty
seconds.
amazing thing to ponder. Almost as interesting as
Prez, yes.
You're listening to the Alan Autry Show on the best talk in town. Talk Radio 1550 KXEX. Call Alan now. 559-899-1550.
Oh, Jeremy, let me hear a few more bars of Smokey. I need it today. Oh, yes. I second that emotion, Jeremy. Guillermo.
Amen.
That emotion of love. Honey, is a taste of honey worse than none of love? Would you rather have loved than lost and never loved?
Oh, for sure.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
It's painful.
Hey, it happens.
It happened to me.
You need to go through some
I
pain.
don't know. Yeah, that's true. Why do we want to take? Yeah, you're right. You're right. All right. Thanks, Smokey. I needed that. All right. Real quick thing. Another Autry's random thought here before we get to the subject that I brought up right before break about are we abusing our kids? And by we, I mean everybody, good people, unbeknownst to us. You see that they, here in Fresno Bee, there was an article yesterday that talked about how they can go through trees. They can go back in time, Guillermo. And
yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
I didn't read it.
And determine through the rings very accurately, the so-called experts agree, what the weather was like. And it goes back 1,100 years. That's 1,100 years if you're writing a check.
Really?
Yeah, it goes back 1,000 years. They go and they saw into that tree, and they can use those, look at those rings and say, that ring there in 14 whatever was pretty cold, pretty hot. Come on. Well, they have made a determination with a high degree of certainty that in the last 1,100 years, there's been 35 instances of very severe drought. And by drought, meaning 4 years or more of drought. Right? You follow me? You tracking with me?
Totally.
Well, been hot lately, right?
Last bit.
4 or 5 years, we're in like our third year here.
Yeah.
It's tough. No rain. And we keep hearing through those folks that are really behind the Green New Deal that this is man-made. This is something that wouldn't be this hot, and the glaciers wouldn't be melting if man would stop making things in factories and letting pollution. And we drove electric cars instead of fossil fuel-driven cars, so on and so forth.
Yeah, you have Pizzlies running around.
Yes. If you shut down everything but Al Gore's private airplane and John Kerry's private airplane, which the atmosphere needs, by the way, to grow. The trees need Gore's jet.
Like potpourri.
And Kerry's jet. But if you but you look back and they've determined in 1650, right? I remember that year well. It was dry. 1650 to 61, right? 11 years. Was the driest years during all of that. Severe drought. Then in 1652, it had some rain. Then 4 more freaking years of drought. So that, let's try to do the math. Like at 19 years, there was at 18 years of really severe drought. The worst ever. My question here, and I'm just musing here. Here's how things are in the world right now. You talk about divided. I'm going to say something, just put a question on the table. You've heard the preface, a long-winded preface, correct?
Yeah.
I preface it. You're bored. Viewers are bored.
I'm not bored.
No, but I mean, I did I'm setting it up as a scientific statement. What the experts have said, not me with the trees, what the experts have said. And I just put this question on the table to be discussed. Now, I guarantee you I'm going to be called a right-wing climate denier Nazi.
I was already spiking the football.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to be called this by...
Take it, you climate changers. You guys are wrong.
Here's just my question. I'm not saying right or wrong. Here's my question. During those years of severe drought, what caused that?
In 1650
to 1661, there was not, by any estimation of scientists, an asteroid hit. There was nothing cataclysmic that happened in terms of nature, a ton of fires or anything like that. There's no note of that. It simply got hot, and it stayed hot for 18 freaking years. Okay, my point is, where were the cars that were emitting all of the toxins that were being told is creating all of that that drought and that the heat and the climate change, all of the stuff that's man, I understand they were riding horses maybe and chariots. Chariots were still popular. As I said, I rode in a few. I had one. It was the Camaro of chariots. It was really, really, I was the envy of the village driving that thing. But just think about it. They didn't even have gunpowder. You know, you shoot a gun with gunpowder, pollutants. They had tomahawks and bows and arrows and rocks. They threw rocks at each other when they went to war.
Al, give the left time, and they will come up with some crazy. Come on,
I haven't heard. That's my question. Just
cow
by
farts.
Simply asking the question.
Cow fart. How much cattle was there?
You know, I thought about that.
Cow farts.
I thought about and bison farts and
never knew.
Well, there's a line of thought out there that it was dinosaur farts that brought on the ice age. It's covered up the sun for about 300 years. So that's out there. Hey, you scoffer, you denier, you right-wing Nazi wacko. What are you talking about? It could happen. You see how big those Brontosaurus Rexes are?
That's true.
Have you ever been around when they farted? I have.
No,
it's horrible.
Joe Biden.
What do you think I look like this? Huh? Yeah. There you go with those ageism jokes.
There you go, give them that right-wing propaganda.
No, that's ageism. That's ageism. I'll never be a part of Joe Biden age jokes. Okay, no, absolutely, I laugh about age jokes. You know, I've always said, the great thing about getting old? There's no such thing as reruns. I can watch Heat of the Night reruns. Yes, I never saw it before. You did them, Alan, huh? I did them. Okay, should we go to a break or get into the?
No. Get into.
All right.
Hold on. This is fascinating. I saw the article. I didn't read it.
But just I'm gonna just put the button on this. Me just putting. This is where we are, folks. Just wanting to know inviting a discussion on it from the right, from the left, from the far right, from the up, from the down, from the over, from the out. I just put it on the table to be discussed. I am a right-wing Nazi climate denier.
Yeah. Join the club.
Stop. Huh?
Join the club.
Okay. I just want to go ahead. You were going to say something.
Kudos on. I haven't read the article.
What's a kudo?
Kudo. It's like a.
I know what you mean, but what is a kudo?
I don't know.
I salute you. I know that. Tip my hat to you. I can see that. But what's a freaking kudo? Jeremy, do you know what a kudo is? What if it's not what we think it is?
Yeah, it's probably something really bad, like
like Lone Ranger all those years.
It's probably like some kind of animal dung, like kudos.
All those years, Tondo called Lone Ranger Kemosabe. You know what Kemosabe means? Chicken crab.
Oh, it really does?
Yeah, I
did not know that.
Yeah, he saw this. Oh, anyway, you're looking up something.
I'm looking it up now. I'm kind of curious here. But go ahead while I find it.
Okay, all right, because I'm going to come across real hard here. I may really go up because at my age, I've made a promise to myself, my family, and God to not, to turn the cheek when I can. But there's a lot of discussion on what that means from a spiritual aspect. And you're a man of faith, Guillermo. We try to do what God wants us to do, not what we want to do. And a lot of times that means having restraint when it's very difficult, especially when America gets attacked. Principal values of faith, family, and freedom get attacked in things that I think are godly gifts to this country. But certain things I still don't have mastered. Because, Jesus said turn the other cheek, but he also turned over the tables.
Mm-hmm.
The money changers and whipped them out with a whip that he took time weaving as he's looking at them. And so the question is, when do you turn the other cheek and when do you turn over the tables? That's an interesting question for us believers. For me, if you call me a name, Autry, you sucked as mayor. Don't like it, but I'm turning.
Who told you that?
Turn the other cheek. Huh?
Who said that?
Oh, you got 4 or 5 days? Alan, boy, I tell you, your acting's horrible. I saw you play football, and you're horrible. I usually say, well, can you find something we disagree on?
I love it.
I might get worked up here, but it doesn't feel good. But you turn the other cheek. And I know you're like that, Guillermo. You mean it calls in. But there's still a couple of things that really I find difficult to really be able to do that. And one of them is when I see child abuse. When somebody abuses a child, physically, sexually, emotionally, intentionally or unintentionally. It really gets me. Spousal abuse. When I hear about, and I'm just going to be, this is going to get me in trouble. I know, but spousal abuse, but primarily husband on a wife. Now, I know there's instances where the Johnny Depp thing, okay, that's not good either. I get all that. And I should get more worked up about that. I just don't, because I think per square inch, that doesn't happen that often. Let's get real. Most spousal abuse is men, the bigger person, abusing the wife, the mother, okay? That's the position I'm taking. You want to prove I'm wrong? Bring me the stats. And I'd be happy to listen. Having set that up, I think this entire country, the majority of well-intentioned parents, people who love kids, people who hate child abuse, are in the midst of being a participant against with the most pervasive, massive, joint word. I'm trying to find the right word because of application of child abuse on children that we've ever seen in history in our country. And that's this abuse of telling kids that stuff that they have no business hearing. They're not old enough to process certain things. There's two things in particular. It started with COVID. Well, let's tell the kids everything. I'm going to be truthful with the kids. Are you kidding me? Our parents, I'm boomer generation, our parents knew what to shield me from when I was too young to process things. 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. A 5, 6, 7, 8-year-old does not need to know every day pounding in them that you could kill grandma or grandpa with COVID, that you could murder somebody with that, or somebody could murder you that you touched or you saw or you sat next to. We told them that day after day after day. My goodness, it drove grown people insane. We have the highest degree of antidepressants now with adults. You think what it was doing to the kids? Now we're doing it with school shootings. Good parents, under the premise, I got to be truthful with my kids. I'm going to tell them that they're not safe at school, that they got to think every moment somebody could come in there with a gun and shoot them. So we need to go over what you need to do during that time. When that crazy monster comes through with a gun and aims it at you and your playmates. So you need to talk to mommy and daddy about that, what you're going to do. You don't think that's happening? It's happening all over with good parents that don't know what the heck they're doing and saying what it's doing to these kids. No. There was an article, and I'm going to pull it up here as we're talking. And Guillermo,
so
let me just get, then I want your response, because this is like a 2, 3, 4, an ongoing subject we need to talk about.
Yeah.
We're not going to make any kind of impact because I'm firmly rooted in this. I really went to prayer on this big time. They said, well, Alan, you got to, I've dealt with the situation. I don't want to get names. I don't want to even get the relation to me. I'm dealing with it personally. 11-year-old grandson. Of how much to tell him. You would say, well, what are you supposed to do? Well, I'm going to tell you what's supposed to do. What other generations did. You think we're the only generation that our children faced harm? You think during the Great Depression, there in Oklahoma, the parents told the kids, now before you go to bed, I got to let you know, little Johnny and Joey, there probably won't be anything to eat tomorrow. And probably, if the weather doesn't get better, you're going to starve to death. Okay? Mommy and daddy are going to get real sick and die. So-and-so daddy's got TB and he's going to die. And the sandstorms are going to come in. You're probably not going to be able to breathe. And by the time you're 15, you're going to have tuberculosis. No, they didn't. You know, I can tell you that because my mother told me about the Great Depression. They didn't talk about it. They grinded ahead. They told the kids things are going to be all right. Work hard. Go about your life. Mom and dad will take care of you. This is going to pass. Things are going to get better. Okay? Do you think a good cop when he leaves his home here in Fresno, we just talk about the Hull family. Do you believe that Eric Hull and his wife tell the kids when Eric goes off to, now listen to their kids, Daddy may not come home tonight. This daddy's going out to face crazy people on drugs with guns, trying to kill daddy. Okay, so you just got to be ready that daddy may not come home. No. They say, Dad's okay. Dad's got a gun. Dad's got his vest. Daddy's been trained really well. I'm going to be okay. Don't you worry about anything. Daughter, son, everything's going to be okay. You think when a soldier went over to Iraq, he or her, when he left the family, go, now listen, kids, I'm going to go over with a bunch of people that hate me. If they could, they would capture me and cut my head off. Just want you to know that because you need to know the truth. Where daddy or mommy's going. We could get riddled with bullets where you wouldn't even be able to recognize the body. Mm-hmm. Okay, just want to let you know that because that's the real world. No. They said, I'm part of the best fighting force in the world. We're going to watch out for each other, and I'm going to be home for Christmas. And when that soldier went off, the mother or the father who was left home reinforced that. When they missed their dad and they see them on TV, all the people getting killed over in Iraq or Afghanistan. They said, no, daddy's going to come home. He's going to be okay. And then my last one, and I'm going to turn it over to you for response, I think was a classic example in Ukraine. You saw this thing over on Azov, the steel plant. All these people, thousands, trapped in that steel plant. I'll never forget this as long as I live. And bombs hitting everywhere. Bombs would shake the whole place. They were huddled together, and they were playing music. They were playing music. You saw children everywhere. Mm-hmm. They were playing games with the children, playing music. They weren't there saying, son, daughter, kids, now any moment a Russian missile could hit here. We could all be incinerated. What's incinerated, Mommy? Well, that means we're just burned beyond recognition or blown into bits. No. They're getting their minds off of it because they can't handle that. They can't handle the truth. We as parents and as adults can. Why in the heck do we think they can? Protect your kids. Shield them the best you can from all of this. And if you find the schools, and I have something here, we're probably going to hit it again tomorrow and the rest of this week. It's not going to be a hit and a one-off here because I believe in it so much. We are off on the wrong track for mental health with these kids. We're going to bear an awful price for this if we don't start turning this around and turn it around quickly. There's a way, Alan, they hear it at school. Don't quit copping out. Quit giving me 1,000 excuses why you can't do something. There's one way you can. Get into your kid's life. And if you find at school, they're teaching them all of these freaking drills, these mass shooter drills. There's a book that's coming out, thank God, about the damage those drills are calling. So, okay, I went on a little bit further in this one soliloquy because I want your response. You want to go to a break, Guillermo, and come back and go, or you want to go in now on it?
I think we should go in now into it.
You go in now.
You got the ball rolling there, and I agree with everything you said. And really, Alan, there's two wars going on really in America, and that's the war against America, which is important. But the second one is it's the war on our children. And I don't know why. And I'm thinking about it because I love America. I love the world as well. This is really unique in how parenting is done and what our kids are in the United States and around the world face. It's almost as if here in the United States, we want our young babies to become adults, man, the moment they become out of the womb. And you're seeing this push now. You're seeing this push earlier,
no doubt,
and earlier and earlier.
Doubt.
And then you mentioned the kids in Ukraine. And then I started thinking about the kids in Israel because no family is the same all around the world. Children are being raised differently. In Africa and some of the poorest parts of Africa, they don't deal with the problems that we deal with. So it's kind of a two-edged sword here because in this country, we are incredibly blessed. And I tell all the young people that I can tell, you know how blessed you are to be born in this country? You know that right Amen. Now you have grown adults that are dreaming about standing where you're standing right now. But at the same time, America has just devolved into a really, and I got to be careful how I say this, into a really dangerous place societally. And this is all stemming from the family unit and the breakdown of the family unit. I was sitting in church a couple Sabbaths ago. I'm Seventh-day Adventist. the pastor was talking about, and it just made so much sense. He goes, the devil is, since the beginning of time, the devil has been trying to break up the original family unit.
Amen.
And I said, yeah, that's true. And then he broke it down to a molecular level, saying that here in America, you can see how American society is trying to destroy the connection between God and family. And then you see it even further now. They're trying to destroy the connection between child and mom, child and dad. And that's assuming that they have both parents in the household, because if they only have one parent in the household, then it's even easier to try and influence that child. I don't know how. I wish every child could grow up on a farm without social media, without anything.
Yeah.
Because the problem that we're facing in America is you have, and it happens on the right and it happens on the left. I'm not just going to say, oh, those progressive lefties, they want your kids to be LGBT. No, listen, this is a societal problem. We're all at fault. Our kids are growing up way too fast. There is no reason. What really angers me, Alan, is when I'm in the grocery store and I see a 2-year-old, a 3-year-old on a cell phone or on an iPad. And you want to know what's even worse is that they just throw these YouTubes on them. They literally, they have
That's the babysitter.
YouTube open.
That's the babysitter.
It is like you're curious why your child.
You got the dark web babysitting your kids.
Parents turn YouTube on. And it just automatically keeps going. Yeah. Commercials, next video. Commercials, next video. We are corrupting the minds. We're drug. It's like this. It's almost as if the adults are the drug providers, and every single day they give their child the drug. Here you go. Here you go.
And we're talking about good people.
Yeah.
Good parents.
Yeah.
This whole I've been guilty of letting the kids on the social media too much, but this whole thing of, well, they need to know. They need, like you said, they need to grow up fast. They need to know the world. No, they don't.
No. I agree.
World War II, they didn't keep talking to the kids about, the D-Day, the people that were killed on D-Day. They will find that natural as they get older, into their teens, not when they're 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. No, they didn't.
Yeah.
I know because my parents talked to me about it. Because they didn't. They innately knew because of their humanity. They didn't listen to the so-called experts, like this fella here, Andrew Solomon. Here's a write on Apple News talking about the big spike in children committing suicide. Okay? He does this article. Okay, here's the expert, the child psychologist. And in this article is very short. I'm going to send it to you.
Yeah, please do.
Here. But here's the amazing thing. At the end, it says, the other thing that parents can do is actually to talk about the idea of suicide with children who don't appear to be suicidal. Because there are quite a lot of children who, if you say to them, quote, have you ever thought about harming yourself? Have you ever thought of ending your own life? They will actually say, well, sometimes I do. Children you would never have expected to hear that from. And listen to this. And the old idea that somehow asking children that question is going to push them towards suicide is now entirely discredited. Now, he doesn't cite any study that says that's been discredited. Because you know what? It's bullcrap.
Yeah.
There is no study that says if you talk incessantly about suicide with a kid, the kid's not going to think about suicide. And then here's the interesting thing. Earlier in the article, he says, here it is. Here he is talking about his own self. I mean, I was shocked in the research I did when I came across a story of a girl who hanged herself with her jump rope at the age of 5. And I thought, this is him talking. This is Mr. Solomon. And I thought, when I was 5, I didn't think I even understood what life and death meant. I wouldn't, no matter how I felt, would have been available. It would have been available to me as an idea. Yeah, dude, your parents didn't talk to you about
exactly,
it.
Yeah.
That's why and later in the article, you tell parents to say, you're a well-adjusted kid.
Yeah.
They're telling you to go up to your well-adjusted kid who may be having his one moment of clear in his mind, having fun, God forbid, with his friends. And you're supposed to go up and say, oh, little Joey, I know you're having fun, but you ever thought about hanging yourself? Come on.
Yeah. Yeah. Amen.
Where did common sense go? Parents, in your own gut, in your heart of hearts, you know you shouldn't do that. Don't listen to the so-called experts. There's 1725 experts that said if you spend more, it'll decrease inflation. 17 noted economists. Don't trust the experts. Trust the wisdom God gave you.
Amen. Amen.
That's your number. And that wisdom tells you, no, that kid's not ready for this. My kid, it's not ready to hear all this stuff. And you know what? When you say, well, it's everywhere. Well, when they come home, drain it, unwind it. What do you tell them about it today? What should we say? You say things are going to get better. And you say things like this about the shootings. I would encourage you to say this to your kids. They're hearing it's happening everywhere. It could happen everywhere. It's horrible. What happened to Uvalde, Columbine, go on. But do you realize how many thousands of schools there are in this country? And from the time it actually really started, Columbine, to today, there's again, one is too many. But when you do the math, it's so infinitesimal. You have more of a chance of your kid being struck by lightning 3 times than there is for an active shooter to come in on campus. And when you put an armed guard on there and you harden, as you say, Guillermo, the campuses, it becomes even less. It's nearing 100%.
Wow.
It would be safe. How about telling your kid that? How about telling your kid that, no, there's not going to be an active shooter come on your campus. That's not going to happen. Well, Alan's lying to them. No, it's giving them what they can handle. It's telling them the truth, too. You're isolating one truth, but you want to keep the other truth from them. Because the truth has light and joy and optimism to it. The other truth is dark, evil, and injurious to that kid's health. Why do you pick that? Why do we always pick the dark thing, the dark information, the information to further traumatize our kids? I mean, we have to stop abusing our kids. I'm going to start with me, with my grandson. I'm going to make a concerted effort to tell him and show him, look, you're okay. You're going to be safe going to school. School is still one of the safest places you could be. Mm-hmm. Now, you might got to put up with that little bully that you might have to stand up and take down, give him a little attitude adjustment. Well, I'm going to get in trouble for that. But, those were traditional school issues.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think about that? I mean,
you have parents that, and it's kind of it's a double-edged sword again. You have parents that don't want to raise their kids. They believe that raising their kids the right way is giving them all the information and doing exactly what the government tells you. I mean, look at the mask thing, right? Yeah. The government said your kids need to wear masks, and the parents are like, okay, then here, let me put it. That
has traumatized children.
It has. It really has.
You see, just from the nose up, suddenly mom from the nose up. I mean, everybody walking around looked like Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah, and why? And why were parents doing that? Because
the science it wasn't keeping with the science.
The government said you do this, and parents did it. You have, and like you said, rely on yourself. Rely on you. What made you great? A great person, a great parent. And here, I think Americans are just spoiled.
And how many? Well, too, that George Orwell, 1984. I would require people go read that, because everything he said in there pretty much come into pass. But I've talked to parents, I've talked to adults, and they say something like this about the masks. They said, "Well, I knew it wasn't doing much good. I know it doesn't do much good. I know it's probably not good for my kids, but they say to do it, so I'm No. Trust your instincts on how to raise your kids, especially when something as murky as this, these masks, it's not good for kids. It's traumatizing kids. And this whole thing about the school shootings, I'm going to reiterate, and again, I know I'm going to get criticism, but I'm going to stand by it. The odds, we're giving kids way, way too much frightening information that's not rooted in fact. No, there's not a good chance. There's not even the remote chance. Remote doesn't mean no chance. But there's a remote chance that no shooter is going to come on their campus. Tell them that. Why do you want to keep a kid there? Because I guarantee you, in that little anxiety bank, it can only handle so much.
Mm.
And it's like that sunburn. They say, these people that got the sunburns when they were like 18, 19, 20 years old. Very unique thing about sunburns. You get burnt really bad, and then it goes away. You don't see it. But then you go to the dermatologist when you're in your 40s, and they trace that skin cancer that you have now that's threatening your life back to that sunburn when you were 18 or 19. That's what it does to the skin. It goes in, it damages, but it stays there. It appears like it's gone away, but those cells have stayed in there. So that anxiety that you're planting in your kids at 8, 9, 10, 11, and they appear to be okay. Trust me, and most of them, when they're in their late teens, 20s, and the hormones kick in and all this other stuff kicks in later on, we're going to pay an awful price. And we already have, some damage has been done, some great damage. But you got to stop it. Got to stop it now. That's my.
I agree.
Oh boy. Well, we got to. We can't take a break. We are taking a break. Is that what that means when you break that line? When you're breaking something? Yeah. Let's do taking a break. I was sorry. I was just.
No.
I was lost in my thoughts there. This is Alan Autry. No retreat. We'll be right back. I thought that meant you want to break my neck.
No, there's really only.
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay.
So
absolutely.
We're good now. Yeah.
Okay.
As long as that.
No, folks, I tell you, we got to start putting our kids first, because let me tell you, society won't, as a whole. So-called experts won't. Government sure won't. They're not going to do it. It's you have to do it. You have to use your common sense.
And I think it's hard to get to parents, because parents honestly believe, like, I'm a good parent. They're probably saying, I'm a good parent. I give my child everything they want, they need. And it's like, well, wait, let's pump the brakes here. You're also the parent that is afraid to say no, because I think you have a lot of parents out there that, and even the parents that say, you know what, I was born in poverty. I didn't have much. So I think you have a lot of parents trying to overcompensate and say, I want to give my child something I never had. And
I'm victim of that. Not victim. I'm a perpetrator of that. I had a choice.
Yeah.
All the stuff I went through, the hardships, and I want my kid to be out of it. And you're saying, well, Alan, how about telling them that? Come on, within reason. I'm talking about going through hard work, going out and doing some labor, putting the things down. I love sports, but I had to put it down and go pick some apricots, cut grapes, and pick tomatoes because I wanted some money to go out with, and it had to be my money because we didn't have any.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do that. But success in life means many times doing what you least want to do when you least want to do it. That's success. Most people can't do that, and we're seeing fewer and fewer and fewer. I don't want to do this. I don't feel like it. Well, sorry, you don't feel like it. Yeah. I mean, talk to employers.
Well, and
you're talking about these. Okay.
No. And here's the problem now. I think you have a generation that is like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. And why are we probably where we're at today is because you have a lot of these, and I hate to say it, but lazy, entitled individuals, and it's not their fault.
That are scared to death.
That are scared to death to do anything, which is why during COVID, you saw so many people covering up because like, well, yeah, I don't, I've been told my whole life I got to listen to the government. I got to listen to.
When did a knife's a deadly weapon, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I'm just saying,
oh yeah.
Rhetorical question. Guns, deadly weapon.
Yeah.
When did a word become deadly weapon? I call you a name.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel good or you call me a name, but I mean, it's not going to send you to community hospital.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I get mentally, we've gotten such mental instability now that's been created, especially in our young people now, that they actually get wounded.
Yeah.
It is a deadly weapon. They need a safe space, a cry room.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Did you have a counselor growing up at school? Like
we had a counselor
at school.
Yeah.
Really? No.
I had to go to him because we had to go out
like a shrink.
I tell you, one time I wanted to talk to him. Yeah. Well, it was a counselor. No, not an official shrink. But we had to go out. I was an ag major. Long story about that. But we had to go out.
30 seconds.
And we had to castrate sheep, doing it Basque style.
In school?
You know what Basque style?
No.
Yes. Yeah, I was an ag major. It's with your teeth.
No way.
There's listeners out there that went to school at ag, and it wasn't just at Riverdale, all
seconds?
over.
No way.
It's true. When we come back.
Oh, my gosh.
I don't know if I should pick up with that or not. But I was scarred from that because I didn't.
You're listening to the Alan Autry Show on the best talk in town. Talk Radio 1550 KXEX. Call Alan now, 559-899-1550.
All right, folks, we got about less than a minute. I'm going to finish this story. I was talking to social media folks in Guillermo about being scarred as a youth, and they have counselors at school. I told them about in high school, sophomore year. I was an ag major. And those ag majors out there back in my day will know this to be true. We went on a field trip to castrate sheep. And we were required to do it Basque style, B-A-S-Q-U-E, Basque style. That meant with your teeth. You went down and with your teeth, you bit off, and they had a bucket there, and you spit the testicle in the.
No.
That's an honest to goodness truth.
No.
Now the reason I was scarred, I didn't want to do it. I didn't do it, but I won't tell her name. She's a country girl. She went down there, bit those things off, put it down there. I had to go see the counselor, not because that I didn't want to do that, but the girl did it in front of me, and I felt shame. Here's the girl that had the guts to do it, that I didn't have the guts to do it. So I needed some big help. Scarred me forever.
I'm scarred now.
All right, this is Alan Autry, No Retreat. Thanks for tuning in, folks. God bless you. God bless America. Good Lord willing, the creek don't rise. We're going to do it tomorrow on Taco Tuesday with Bullet Bob. Bye-bye now.